Welcome to today's video tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to be doing a pixel stretch effect similar to the one that we have on the screen at the moment. So let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all of the layers so that you have the start image on your screen. You can download the start image from the description box down below. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and click my move tool. Then I'm going to right click up here and I'm going to set reset all tools and hit OK. Then I'm going to come to window, I'm going to go to workspace, and then I'm going to hit reset essentials. And now your computer will look the exact same as my computer. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to click our base layer and Command and J to duplicate the layer like that. I'm going to call this my rotate layer. And then I'm going to come to back to my background layer and I'm going to Command and J that one more time. I'm going to hide my two bottom layers and just have my rotate layer. Now I'm going to Command and T for transform, and I'm going to try and rotate it around with the object being I want a very long line, straight line going up and down. So if we had it straight like this, we would not be able to get one line which goes straight up and down to get the hat as well as the body. So that's why I'm rotating it around like this. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to press my tick here to apply my transform. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide some of the top of my screen and some of the bottom of my screen. Now in order to do that, I'm just going to right click up here and get my marquee tool, and I'm just going to draw a line around the top. I want to include the hat, but everything other than the hat can go. Then we're going to hit backspace to get rid of it. And then I'm going to do the same down the bottom here. I want to get rid of everything. I want to go all the way up to the bottom of the foot like that. In fact, yeah, all the way to the bottom of the knee. And I'm going to hit backspace to get rid of that like that. Command and D to deselect. Now I'm ready to start getting my pixels for my pixel stretch. In order to do that, you right click up here and you get your single column marquee tool. And then I'm going to come over here and click somewhere along here. And what I want is I want my selection to go through as much color as possible. So I've got the dark hat, I've got the skin, I've got the green costume going all the way down there like that. I'm happy with that selection, so I'm going to Command and C to copy, then Command and V to paste. And you'll have noticed that it's created a new layer here called layer 1. I'm going to double click that layer and call it pixel stretch. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my base layer, and with my pixel stretch, you probably can't see it on the screen, but we've got a 1 pixel wide going all the way up and down here. I'm going to Command and T to transform that. I'm going to hold down my Shift key on my keyboard and I'm going to bring it all the way to the left and all the way to the right like this. I'm happy with that transformation, so I'm going to press my tick up here to apply the transformation. I'm going to hide my pixel stretch for a moment. I'm going to bring in my background copy. And what I need to do is I need to isolate this model from the background. The easiest way to do that is to right click up here and get your object selection tool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw around the model like this. And I'm going to let Photoshop make the selection for me. It's done a fairly good job here. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to create a layer mask by pressing this button here. So we've got the model separated from the background. I'm going to bring that layer all the way to the top like this, and I'm going to bring in my pixel stretch from below. I'm also going to bring my background in to give me some context. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide all of this area here. The easiest way to do that is on my pixel stretch layer, I'm going to create a layer mask down here. And then I'm going to B for brush tool. I'm using my square brackets to make my brush bigger or smaller. And make sure that you're in the white layer mask and make sure that your paint brush color here is black. And then we're going to go ahead and paint into this area. Now I need to get a bit of a hard brush here, like that. And I'm just going to very carefully go around like this. The final thing that I need to do is I need to deform my pixel stretch, and there's a number of ways of doing this. In order to demonstrate that, I'm going to Command and J, so I've got 2 copies of my pixel stretch. I'm going to hide my layer 1, and I'm only going to work on my top layer of pixel stretch. I'm going to Command and T at this point, and then up here I'm going to select this option here, which will allow me to deform my pixel stretch in any way that I like. Probably keep that down there somewhere. And we've got this very cool effect here. You can of course move the sliders to change the effect. I'm going to bring this up here to include the top of the hat, and I'm kind of happy with that, so I'm going to press enter to apply my effect. So that's the first way. I'm going to hide that way, and then I'm going to bring in my pixel stretch the second way. The second way that you can do this is you can distort it by painting into the layer mask over here. So I already have a layer mask. I've got a brush ready to hand. So what I'm going to do is, that's a hard brush, so I want to try and get a soft brush here. And what I can do is I can start just affecting it like this. And I'm just brushing in to reveal the layer below. To develop this further, what we can do is we can apply an effect to this pixel stretch. So I'm going to go up to my filters, and then I'm going to go for liquify. And in my liquify tool, I'm just going to make sure that I've got my pointing tool here. It's quite a big brush, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And what you can do is you can just go in crisscross patterns like this. We're making random shapes appear. I don't want to go too far because remember the model will be here in the middle somewhere, but I'm just making some random shapes appear using the liquify tool just like this. I'm kind of happy with that effect, so I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And I like it, but it's a little bit harsh. So I'm going to click back into my layer mask. I'm going to hit B for brush. I'm going to make a very big brush here. But what I'm going to do is with my opacity, I'm just going to turn the opacity of my brush right down like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly start brushing out the effect towards the tail end here. And that's the 2 ways to do pixel stretch with some distortion on the pixel stretch. Here ends today's video tutorial.